Welcome to another adventure with Getting Lost. Today we are continuing our adventure here at Yishun. We have went to Yishun Park and Yishun Pond, which is over there in the distance. And now we're going to walk along the Khatib Bongsu Park Connector and explore this waterway or this monsoon drain and see whether we can follow it all the way to the end and reach the sea. To find out whether we can do that, you have to watch to join me after the intro. Welcome back. So we're actually at Khatib Bongsu Park Connector, and so we're actually walking from the bridge along Yishun Central, which is connected to Yishun Pond, and we're going to walk past the bridge and keep walking, following the water, this small little river or this monsoon drain. It's not very pretty, but it is a body of water moving in that direction. So we're going to follow it and see where it goes. So there is the bridge, and further along after the bridge is actually Yishun Pond, and we actually have walked all the way from there towards here, and we're going to continue walking along here. And there are a few bridges that actually crosses this small little drainage, monsoon drain or river, and this is just one of those bridges. And on both of sides of us, there are actually HDB flats, and some of the HDB flats are newer, some of them are much older, I think. And in front there, there's actually condominiums, but after we cross the bridge here, you can see there are very colorfully painted HDB flats in this area here. Over this side here, we have more of the traditional color. On the right here is more of those colorful kind of colors, which they use multiple colors to make it look much more cheerful. And here is more traditionally painted buildings. But if you ask me to guess, I would say the HDB flats on my left, I suspect they are older than the one on the right. And definitely the one in front here is much younger. Okay, how do you tell that? You just look at the design of the HDB flats, because HDB with every new generation of flats that comes out, they always try to change the design, because they've changed production methods, they've changed their architectural methods, so the buildings don't look the same as the previous sets. So during a certain period of time, they will build HDB flats that look quite similar to each other, and other timings they will build other types of flats that look similar to each other. So, but it's getting harder and harder to tell them apart nowadays. And as we are walking, if I'm not mistaken, this road here that you see here is actually called Yishun Ring Road. And if you look across here, there's a bridge, and right next to the bridge, right next to this park connector, there's actually a small little park. Okay, so this is where we'll continue walking down the park connector, but here there's actually a small little park too. and this is actually called Yishun Nature Park. So basically what happened is you actually have a normal park, in normal facilities. To make it a nature park, they just planted a wide variety of different types of trees and plants here. So when you're walking through here, you will see a wide, huge variety of different types of plants and trees. And that's what makes a nature park. The wide variety of trees. Look at that. You look here and you look at the side there. So many different types of trees and plants like ferns, palms, so many that I can't even mention them. And in front of us here, this tree here that you see is actually called a tembusu tree. And this tembusu tree may look familiar to some people because the tembusu tree actually appears on the Singapore $5 note. Yes, the $5 note. And now we're going here to visit a very rare tree. This tree is called the basketball post tree. And this basketball post tree only grows on this piece of land called a basketball court. And they always grow in twos, one on one side of the court and one on the other side. And you recognize a basketball post tree by the fruit, which has which looks like string, looks like a net with 3 different colors of white, blue and red. A very rare find. Anyway, so like I said, this is a tembusu tree which actually appeared on the Singapore $5 note. You know it's a $5 note because there's a $5 there, and also it's a green color note. And like I said, here there's lots and lots of trees. So many trees that I do not know the name of all the trees, or ferns, but what they did was they actually take an ordinary small little park, where you have your exercise equipment, you have your playground, you have a basketball court, you have your pagodas, you have sheltered areas, and instead of just planting the normal plants, you just plant a wide variety of different types of trees and plants, and you get a nature park. Interesting. Lots and lots of different things to see. Lots of things familiar, lots of things unfamiliar, especially the trees. And look at that, right next to HDB flats. That's definitely a very interesting swing. And you also have another play area for kids here, another playground area thing. And here is another interesting tree. Yeah, this tree here is called the Johor fig. And why is it called a Johor fig? Is because of the fruits that are produced by the plant. So the plant is actually a parasite that actually grows on the tree, and you can actually see their roots hanging down from the tree. And so we actually reached the end of this nature park, and we're going to continue our walk along the park connector, or the Khatib Bongsu Park Connector. So this area of Khatib Bongsu used to be a village situated by the side of Sungai Khatib. It was a very rural area, very not very inhabited area, but the last resident of this area was actually evicted in 2007, and the armed forces actually took part of this area as their training grounds. So this Khatib Bongsu area used to be dominated by mangrove forests and mud flats. But unlike the mud flats in Sungai Buloh Wetland Reserve, this area here is actually not protected, and it's actually earmarked for future development. And what they plan in the future, that's why they made this drain here so wide, is they actually plan to dam the Sungai Khatib Bongsu. So if they do dam the river, the water will come all the way up here. So there will be much more water along here. And now we have actually reached Yishun Avenue 6. And there's another bridge here crossing over the monsoon drain. And if you cross over the river, you'll notice there's a big empty piece of land here. So that means that this land is being prepared in the future for more development, maybe HDB flats, maybe condominiums. At the moment, not sure yet, but we're going to head towards the park connector here. And one thing is you can notice different here is this area here is starting to get more rugged. So that's not a good sign, because and also the monsoon drain has gotten much wider with lots and lots of water. So in front of us now is actually a condominium project, and if you continue walking down that direction, there's actually another bridge, and over there is actually Yishun Avenue 8. So if you keep walking down that direction, and let's see where it goes. On my right here, you see there's actually some greenery, some trees they have planted on both sides of the pathway. And actually on the other side there, the walkway that's beside the water is actually close to pedestrian at the moment. But if you just keep heading that direction, you notice that the water's starting to get much deeper. And unfortunately, when I reached the road, I noticed that there is no more, how do I say this? No more civilization, no more buildings on the other side of the river, on the other side of the bridge. So I guess, and also look at that, the water is also much deeper here. So I guess we are not able to reach the sea from here because they have not actually built any walkway there yet. In the future, when they start to develop the area, maybe they will make a pathway all the way towards the end. But now you get lots and lots of forests, and like I said earlier, part of this area here is actually taken by the armed forces as a training ground, so you're not able to go in there. But I hope you enjoyed my adventure here today, even though we didn't get to reach the sea, but we walked as much as we could. And that's about all for this adventure. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Please help me by liking my video, sharing my video, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you must do is to join me for my next adventure. Guess where we're going? Guess we're going to the Yishun Dam. That's for next week. So, join me for that. Until then, bye bye.